When it comes to YouTube, the first thing that people see is your thumbnail. And in this video, I want to walk you through some of the mindset to help make better thumbnails to earn that click. So let's go. Hey folks, AJ the CEO here. If this is your first time stopping by the channel, thanks for stopping by. And on this channel, we focus on tips, training, strategies, reviews, and builds to help modernize your media ministry. So if you're new here, consider subscribing. And if you like what we're doing here, consider becoming a patron or YouTube member by clicking one of the links down below. So if any of y'all are doing any form of video and content on YouTube, your thumbnail and title is very important. When it comes to a thumbnail, there's a lot of things that people are trying to say, and I want to try and simplify it as best as possible for you. Here's a test. Look at any picture that you got, especially if you're in the photo. The very first thing you typically do is look for you. Or you look for people. You don't notice everything, all the details yet. Naturally, you look at people first. That's how we're engineered. How can we use that to play on those type of steps? Well, first off, try and put faces or people in your thumbnails. And then the other thing is you want to have them take up the majority of the real estate in your thumbnail. Now, another thing is I want to jump over here and put my church's channel on the chopping block because I am guilty of this as well too. Here is my church's channel, and I am making a few changes that I'm constantly learning as well too. First off, let's look at this right here. I have my pastor on here. The idea is you don't want to inundate a lot of people with words. Looking at the analytics that YouTube has themselves provided, 70% of people who watch YouTube are watching on a phone or a tablet. So we need to make our thumbnail very much understood what our content is from a picture that's about the size of about an inch. I know the typical church habit is to throw everything, the time of service, your address, your denomination, your pastor. At that point, all that text on that screen, you ain't going to be able to see it anyway. That's why it's not needed. If you want to put text on there, short and simple. Honestly, you probably want to have somebody's face or an object, mainly a person's face, because that person's face can display all types of emotion that people can resonate with. That's what's going to make them inquisitive, curious about what it is. So try and do something like that. And again, like most of the time when I've been doing my church's videos, we pick colors and place colors and the text in a certain position I'm guilty of. If I look here in perfection in your strong suit, you can't see suit. I need to be mindful of where I place my text here because of the timestamp of how long the video is blocking it. Maybe that lower third piece is where I need to move my text up, and I probably want to blow out my pastor's picture. Or if you don't have anybody that wants to have pictures, there's plenty of websites like pexels.com that you can get stock footage to try and match the message of what's going on. Even though I use Photoshop, I'm going to cut over to Canva, which is a free tool that any ministry can use, and I highly recommend if you don't have any type of graphics type of package, use canva.com. It is very simple and free. And we're going to jump over here and we're going to design thumbnail to try and explain what I'm talking about. All right, we are here in my church's account, and we're just going to start brand new. And we're going to say a YouTube, just type in the top, and they already have thumbnails at the size that you need. Now, they do have some of these placeholders, templates already. So you see these little crowns, that's the one that's not free and you got to pay for. But we're going to just do this from scratch. Okay, let's do a thumbnail based on Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. All right, let's do something like that. Now, we know what the scripture is. And again, if anybody's watching this and you're not ministry related, these tips still work the exact same way. The idea is whatever your topic is, you want to be able to condense it down to 3 words. All right, we have, I can do all things through him, Christ, who strengthens me. So you can come up with different ideas for this. So for me, let's jump over here to pexels.com. And I want to do something with strength. Fitness stuff. We got some kickboxing. We just want to find something. So maybe I want to jump this one because we got the Superman here. And that's the song that I have in my head from any old school Tony Hawk fans. The game. So I have Superman in my head. But anyway, let's use that picture. So we're going to upload this. And again, Pexels.com is great because all their assets are free for you to use. So you don't have to worry about anything like that. So I'm just going to drag this over here and I'm going to crop this down so you can see his face. And I'm going to let his face take up the majority of the screen. Now, the other thing, be mindful of, I'm going to use this box just to represent the third. So I want to avoid this area because our timestamp is normally going to be somewhere around here. So I want to be careful of that. So I'm going to delete this when it's done. But let's get some text here. And I'm going to say, I can do all things. And I want to blow this text up so that it is very, very easily readable. And I'll probably put it right here. And what I'm going to do is take another bar to help accent the words. I'm going to change this bar to black and I'm going to change the words to white. Now, for me, we do certain colors at our ministry. So, you want to play around with that. Or honestly, black and white works perfectly well as well, too. All right. So now we got Brother Man here flexing on him. You can't see him, what he's doing. So what I'm going to do. Oh, and another tip with this is, and you'll see this in movies, and I don't know why I forgot mentioning this. In movies or TV, once I say this, you're going to notice this. Again, the human eye goes towards what is in focus and not out of focus. All right. You'll notice that if you're watching a movie and they want to draw your attention to a certain subject or an item, they put that in focus and make everything else out of focus. So that's another way you can draw attention to what your subject is. And that's what I'm going to do here as well, too. I'm going to make this a little transparent here so you can see. And then I'm just going to click on this image. I'm going to edit image and I'm going to add just a little blur. And then y'all see what your focus is once you look at this. It just makes the text jump out more because your eye is looking for what is in focus. You do like this. All you see is that I can do all things. So we want to bring it in just a little bit and maybe play around with this. Now, there are a bunch of ways you could do this. I can get rid of the bar, keep him in focus, or make him super sharp to make him stand out even more. Do the exact opposite, which I like that. See a whole lot more detail. And then let's actually just shift this all over to the the right. Bigger. And I'm going to stack this so we can see his expression, his emotion. That dude is into it. You got to be mindful of that bar at the bottom. So now I'm thinking maybe we need to put it to the right so it doesn't block the timestamp. And let's make the text stand out by putting a shadow behind it. And let's change this all to white now because of how we've changed this. All right. So really clear. You see exactly what's going on. And I'm going to add one more element here. I do this a lot here in Canva. What I'm going to do is take this solid, make it black. That's not black. That. And then I'm just going to change the transparency just a little bit and then put it behind the text. So it just makes it stand out a little bit more. So you got to think, whatever you're doing from a sermon topic, try and condense it down in as few words as possible. So now if I download this and I'm going to put this on a fictitious video, maybe a hidden one that's unlisted so we can see what this looks like here. All right, so this is obviously a test stream. So I'm going to take this here and use this one. Let's change this to the image I just did. All right, boom. Now, again, I don't know. I did that pretty fast, but you saw one of my typical old school thumbnails, which was a whole bunch of text and it was super, super tiny. Let's look at that test live stream that's right above this. You see how difficult that is to see, but we look at the thumbnail that we just made. That stands very clear to what this message is. You could always make the text even bigger, but you see, some guy looks like he's like yelling or something, and then I can do all things. Okay, that makes it really, really clear of what that is. So the main focus is to make sure that when you're making your thumbnails, how they are seen from a mobile device, since 70% of people are watching it that way. And I know out of habit, you want to throw a whole lot of text on that thumbnail for everybody to communicate everything imaginable. But honestly, less is better. Put less there. Try and condense whatever the subject is on your video into 3 to 5 words max. And then sometimes put the words on there. Sometimes you don't. If you can find an image that has an expression from a person or an event or something that clearly represents what those 3 to 5 words are, you can get away with just having the image if you want. But if you do use text, use as few words as possible. So if you like this type of content, I appreciate a like. Consider subscribing and hit the bell where you get notified when we come out with other videos to help modernize your media ministry. I want to thank the patrons and the YouTube members for making this video possible. Their name's on the screen right now, and you too can become a patron for as little as $1 a month, or you can become a YouTube member by clicking the join button down below. No matter which way you pick, folks, you are helping us train media ministries all over the world. Thanks for watching, folks. This is AJ. We'll see you on the next video. Later.